When I pull up, I clear the block out. Keep me a short and he'll break a jaw, call him knockout. Thought he a cheater, but ain't a thing that I don't know about.
All right. 2 week hiatus. What would this be? Episode 5. And we're gonna start off, I think, with UFC 280. So Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Edwin, I think this is the most stacked card I've seen in a long time.
It's the most stacked card of the whole year. I'm excited for this card.
Me too, dude. This fight could go anywhere. And there's so many. I mean, from top to bottom, the whole card is stacked, right? So
yeah,
I'm excited. I think if I don't go out to watch this fight, it is the type of fight that I want to watch on pay-per-view. Like I'll pay for the pay-per-view for this one. I don't want to miss a second of it, like with a lag, if you use one of those links. But what do you think about it being like casual friendly? How do you feel about it being like I mean, like, what do you think about the card? You don't think it's casual friendly?
It's the most stacked card of the whole year. Even the undercard is stacked. It's not just the main event that's selling; it's the whole card. And it's not too casual either, because I mean it is in Abu Dhabi, so the rest of the card is mostly filled with a lot of Russian fighters. So not too many casual people are just going to be all like, oh, let's just watch this. No, this is definitely a diehard fan type of card, and Bruce Buffer's going to have his work cut out for him that the whole day.
For sure, yeah. A lot of complicated names to pronounce, right?
Yeah.
That dude makes a lot of money, by the way. I think he makes like $100,000 per event, and he's at like all the big things. But anyway, it's stacked for a hardcore. I agree with that sentiment. I guess like there's a lot of really good fights, but your average viewer, your person that buys a McGregor card might not know who like Tj Dillashaw is or Aljamain Sterling. They might not even know who. I mean, forget about Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. They might not even know.
Yeah, they won't know the significance of the whole event.
They won't know that at all. They might know that they have some relation to Khabib if they even know Khabib, right? And the biggest name on this card, oddly enough, would probably be O'Malley. In terms of numbers,
in terms of popularity, it'd be Sean O'Malley because of all his Instagrams and nonsense and things that he does. Because he's a character. But yeah,
for sure.
he'd be the most well known. But yeah, like people would know Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, Tj Dillashaw. I mean, I'm sure even some normal fans, some hardcore fans probably even forgot, since he's kind of been away for 2 years.
Yeah, with all the steroid mishap. 2 years off.
Yeah, he had 2 years off, had the one fight back, and then also the whole. You ask a casual fan how they feel about Jermaine Sterling being a champion, they're gonna be like, I don't know, he's got a belt, but there's more to it than that.
Oh yeah, and like we'll get into it, but I was really an Aljo hater, dude. I think after he beat Peter Yan, I got more on his side. So I actually want him to win that fight, but
really?
I don't know. TJ Dillashaw, I mean, TJ Dillashaw's been like 35, isn't he? Like he's
up there, but I don't know. All right, let's go through the card.
Let's go through the card. Yeah. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev.
Main
headliner.
Event.
Yep. Main event.
For the vacant lightweight title.
Technically, but we all know it's
Charles Oliveira's he's the lineal champion.
For sure. And he's on a big win streak right now.
What is it like
11 or 12? Yeah. I think it's 11, right?
I agree. I think so too. He's been on a tear since, I believe, UFC 225.
Okay, dude. Oliveira has the best record, arguably, in terms of win streak since like John Jones when he was going through like Shogun and Lyoto.
No, he's got legit names on his record that he's put away.
He does, dude. Let's see. Let's go through the list. I mean, I know he beat Gaethje recently. He beat Poirier. He beat
from the beginning.
Ferguson. I'm gonna click on his fight history right now. So
I got it on too. Let's see. He started off with Clay Guida and Jim Miller, Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. These are very big names. Very big.
Jim Miller.
Opposition. Yeah.
Submission too, and Miller is no slouch on the ground, dude. He's
Nope.
good on the ground. So a lot of good names on here. Kevin Lee, right? You said that one. Ferguson, Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje, If he beats Makachev, that's some legendary shit right there, dude.
That's legendary. And he used to just be a grappling guy, just a jiu-jitsu guy, but he's very well-rounded now. He's a very, very scary opponent.
He's putting it all together, right? His stand
Yeah.
up, his clinch game, dude. His MMA jiu-jitsu is so sick and so precise and so. I mean, he knows how to put it together really, really well. He does a really good job, which I don't think he'll be able to do against Makachev because Makachev's wrestling. But what he does a really good job at is threatening takedowns, exposing back control. So they give up their back, and he jumps on it. And when he has your back, when Oliveira has your back, he'll choke you out.
Oh yeah, no, he has the record for the most submissions in UFC history.
Yeah,
that's for a reason,
And
he's a sneaky guy.
So many records. I mean, he also has he has another thing, though, like not just submissions, but also maybe finishes or something. Fight of the night bonuses.
He's up there. If he doesn't have him, he's tied for something. But he's a very exciting fighter to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Super exciting fighter to watch.
Always the underdog somehow, though. Everybody always has him as the underdog. Everybody's always doubted him.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys that always have him as an underdog.
I saw something special in him years ago. I was like, there's something about this guy.
I mean, and I want to say the same thing, but my honest, like Ferguson, when he fought Ferguson, being a Ferguson fan, I was like, Ferguson, this is his comeback. He's gonna be Charles. Okay, Charles won. Chandler, after Chandler knocked out Dan Hooker, I think.
Yep, it was the second fight.
Or was it after fight against Gaethje? Chandler and Gaethje, did they fight before Chandler fought Oliveira?
No. Because Chandler's second fight in the UFC was for the title against Oliveira.
Okay, and he got knocked down in that fight. Well, he got knocked down in the rest of the fights that lead up to this fight, but which is an interesting little tidbit in there. But
no, he's very good at comebacks out of nowhere.
I thought he was going to lose against Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then against Poirier, I thought he was going to lose.
Everybody thought that too. Everybody thought that was going to be Poirier's moment, but no, it was a like you said, he got hurt in the first round. He made adjustments in the second. I remember then he choked out Poirier in the third.
Yeah.
He's very good at adjusting in between rounds.
Jumped on his back, choked him out. And he hurt him a little bit. Like there was a encounters in there where he threw some good straights and dazed Poirier and took his back. But I had Poirier winning that fight again, so that was like 3 in a row for me. And then against Gaethje, after having Trevor Whitman, having Kamaru Usman as a champion, having Rose Namajunas as a champion, I was like, it's Gaethje's turn. It's Gaethje's turn, and I had Gaethje, and he gets submitted in the first round. Like
in the first round, that was a very good fight too. Fun fight. We were there for that.
Oh yeah. I got the shirt. Got the shirt somewhere. Fun event.
That was so much fun. But no, and then on the other side, it's hard to bet against anybody from Dagestan.
Yes, especially when they have so much hype behind them. You got, DC raves about him, Khabib raves about him. He seems like he's the future, right? Like in a lot of people's eyes. And something about that top pressure, that Dagestani wrestling, Makachev is a little bit more, he stretched it out more than Khabib did. Khabib was more relentless with like being, on you and looking more for a finish a little quicker.
Yeah, no, Khabib pounded on you and just beat you down. Makachev, he can put a squeeze on you. That's about it.
And he'll keep the top pressure though, and he's great at it. And I would say his MMA in general, like his stand up, his ability to like connect all the different parts of it together, might even be more evolved than Khabib's, even if Khabib's grappling is better than Islam's.
Okay.
That's just an opinion, but I still think that Oliveira puts everything together better. I just don't know if he can. I don't know if he can handle Makachev on the ground. I don't know if he can actually catch him with anything.
I don't know. He could hurt him, but both guys have been finished at some point. But the only thing that you could argue against Islam is that he hasn't really fought any names. There's not too many people on his record. I mean, he's on what is it? Is he on a 10 fight win streak now or 8? Something crazy.
Makachev's
But
also on a big win streak for
yeah,
sure.
but I mean, it's not like the reason that there's no names on Makachev's record, it's because everybody's ducking this guy. He's
That's
somebody
also
that
true.
a lot of people avoided.
10 fight win streak, by the
10
way.
fight, okay. I think I look back at his record. I mean, he's had very dominant victories over Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Thiago Moises, and Drew Dober. He just finished all of his last 4 fights. But I think his biggest and most exciting fight I saw him in was when he took on Arman Sarukian.
That was a good fight.
Yeah, that was just grappling all over. It was just rolling all around the ground for 15 minutes straight. That's I think his biggest fight yet, but he grew since then, so I don't know if it's his time. This is a very hard pick'em fight.
Yeah, dude, it's 50-50 for me. I flip back and forth every time.
I'm taking Oliveira. I'm picking Oliveira on this one.
I'll give you a pick before we move on, but
okay.
But I don't know. It's a hard one, man. I mean, Islam has some good
easy.
names. He has good names, but it does pale in comparison to the names on Oliveira, and that's not Islam's fault, right? Like he didn't pick his fights. People are ducking him. I agree.
People ducked him for a while,
and they continue to.
Yeah.
I see this fight going 3 different ways. Okay, so I see Oliveira winning by KO. Right, because I think his stand up is much better. I think his stand up is much better.
If he's not punching you, he's kicking you or kneeing you into the stomach. He's got all sorts of different angles that he can hit you from.
And if Makachev shoots and we see another Jorge Masvidal Ben Askren right behind you, could happen, right?
Possible.
I don't see it being super likely. There's also the likelihood of Oliveira beating Makachev by Darce or some type of choke, a guillotine when he's shooting in,
Could be any hold. They know so many holds between the two of them. I don't know.
Or the one that I almost lean to most is Makachev winning a decision.
Just keeping him on the ground and just
dominating him, making like a Kobe Masvidal fight. Okay. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know. That's a hard one.
I'm gonna take Oliveira. I think Oliveira is gonna pull out some more magic because this guy, there's something about him. I don't know.
There's part of me that I want to pick Makachev almost, but
okay.
But I also think that he's maybe a little bit overhyped because we want him to take Khabib's spot as the GOAT.
Yeah.
Because they're from the same area and they have a very similar style.
Yeah, it'd be like having Khabib back in the cage, basically, and Khabib never did lose.
That's true. But I think it takes a while in sports in general to have another icon like that. You don't get another Michael Jordan right away. You don't get another. I mean, and that's an opinion too, because some people don't even think Khabib is actually the GOAT, but I think he is. And it's hard, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Oliveira.
You're going with Oliveira too? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I looked at the odds. They're dead even. It's minus 110 plus 145. It's not even really worth it to bet on this fight. But if you were, I'm taking Oliveira.
And I think it's only because I want Oliveira to win, because Makachev is almost destined to win this fight. They're going to do it in Abu Dhabi. He's going to be basically in his, he's going to feel like he's at home.
I think he can handle that pressure, though.
I think he can, and I think Oliveira can too.
Yeah, he's going to have Hasbullah in his corner. I saw that today.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that deal that he has with UFC now? What are they supposed to be doing together?
They're actually going to put a fight for the little guy. I don't know. It's going to be.
They're putting up a fight.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing some weird mascot type thing, dude.
At this point, it probably. I don't know, dude. We'll see. Either way, I'm gonna pay it. I'm gonna pay for it and watch it. Either way. I hand them my money for that one.
Would you agree or would you disagree on Makachev being overhyped? Because of the comparisons to Khabib.
I mean, I don't know because it's not just Islam that's come out of that camp. We've also got what's it, Umar Nurmagomedov fighting in Bellator, and because Khabib's father trained a few other people, and bless you.
Sorry, thank you.
No, you're fine. And we've had like I'm saying, we've had other fighters come out of that camp, and they are just savages too. So I mean, he's got skills. He's not hyped. He's dangerous.
For sure, he's super dangerous, right?
That'd be one thing if he was like, oh, he just grew up with Khabib and they're friends and they hung out and play in the playground together. Oh no, these guys they fought forever and they're just, they're born different. They're made different out there in the mountains.
Yeah, dude, there's something about, struggle and being, I don't know, up high in elevation and having no food. I don't
And
know.
see, yeah, no, and
Working
out there
hard,
in that
cold.
country, it's what? It's either you go to war or you go do sports,
Yeah.
basically.
And everyone, I don't know, that's probably ignorant to say, never mind, but they're, I mean, it just seems, like they definitely grow some tough people out there.
Oh yeah.
Um, but so does Brazil, dude. So does the favelas,
Oh yeah, no, they're both from very tough upbringings.
It's a really good fight. It's the Khabib versus Tony Ferguson fight that we never got to see.
Yeah, it is. It's like a 2.0 version of that. Very similar styles, I guess you could say, on both ends. Yeah.
Both a little bit more evolved in terms of like their MMA,
Yeah.
Like it's good. Um One of the other, downsides of Oliveira here, I think, is just he's kind of in that almost like I don't know how to call it, like a graduating class, I guess you could say, of like fighters that are, there's newer fighters coming up. There's guys like Gamra, there's Makachev. Like, are they taking over now? Is this their time to take over? Or are fighters like Oliveira, Ferguson on their way out? McGregor, like, are they all on their way out? And how many more fights do they have? And a fighter like Oliveira has had a lot of wars, So
he's been in the UFC for years. I mean, he used to be in the featherweight division.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's lost some, he's gotten his ass beat before.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. He's had some wars. He's gotten knocked out in a lot of fights. So it's like all those things are things that can
taking that up.
Equation.
But now there's something about him lately. I think Oliveira does something cool in Abu Dhabi.
They're both special.
They both
okay.
Are.
So anything can happen.
Yeah.
I'll stick with Oliveira just because I've doubted him so many times. So this time
I've been a fan of him. I'm staying in his corner forever.
He's definitely picked me up as a fan.
Okay.
I remember being, almost feeling bad for not wanting to pick him against Gaethje. Even against Poirier, I was like, I kind of think, Oliveira, but no, I think Poirier for sure. And then same thing with Gaethje, and I was like, dang, that's like 4 times in a row that I was like, Oliveira's not winning this fight. And he does. So knowing my luck, Makachev's going to win this just because I already said Oliveira.
Hey, I would be mad with either guy who wins. I wouldn't be mad because they're both worthy champions at that point.
They both would be. And I kind of, I do hope it's a really good fight where we see a rematch type of thing, but I doubt it. If either of these guys win, do you think they hold the title for a while, or do you think this division is so stacked that it's going to go back and forth between different fighters for a while?
I think whoever becomes or gets the belt will hold it, and I'm sure that the next fight for either of them. Okay, if Oliveira gets the belt, I think he'll get the Conor McGregor fight because that's just how they want it to be. And if Islam wins, he'll probably end up facing either the winner of that's on another fight on this card, or winner of the fight from UFC 281 in Madison Square Garden, because both pay-per-views do have 2 fights with contenders, so a contender could emerge out of those for him to face after that.
I really like how they set up this card in that way. So not only the lightweight division has some fights that can be made off of this card itself. So like you were mentioning, like Beneil Dariush is on this card, Gamra's on this card, I think.
Yep.
And
then
we've got bantamweight too.
Then we've got Poirier and Chandler at 281. So yeah, a contender could come out of that. So we'll see.
For sure. Um, do you think they'll either of them will be like the Khabib where they hold it for a while though?
I think so.
Okay. The winner of this fight, you would say, or what?
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, Oliveira's already had it for a while. He's already had very big defenses, and then I don't know of anybody else who I could really see beating Islammakhachev.
Yeah, for sure. Um, this is the deepest card in a long time, like we were mentioning.
Yep.
Um, hardcore fans' dream, I would damn near call it.
Oh yeah.
And it does make it a little bit more casual friendly with like an O'Malley on there. But that fight, I think Oliveira versus Makachev is going to be. It could go either way, right? Like it could.
Yeah.
You know how when we were really excited about watching Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, and it ended up being Kobe wrestling the whole
One-sided.
time. I
Yeah.
hope it's not that. I hope it lives up to our Ferguson Khabib expectation.
Yeah. Now that's a different situation because he was on a fun little hype train, but if you analyze that deeply, you'll see that like Jorge was a little overhyped.
He was overhyped for sure. I agree.
And I don't think either of these guys are overhyped. This is gonna be amazing.
I really hope the grappling exchanges are amazing. Like, I mean, I don't think Charles Oliveira has any like um big I don't know feats in jiu-jitsu specifically, like just by itself, but he has shown a really good way of putting it together in MMA. But I don't know if he's as accomplished as like a Gilbert Burns or like a Damian Maia in just jiu-jitsu. And with Makachev's level of wrestling, it's going to be really interesting to see like how that's going to look.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but shit, yeah, I'm really excited for that fight.
That's a very
We spent like quite a bit of time talking about that one.
That's a dream fight.
Yeah, dude, it'll make up. Hopefully, it makes up for not seeing the Ferguson Khabib fight.
All right.
Next fight.
Event.
Yep, co-main event. Next fight on the card.
Bantamweight title.
Another super stacked division. Bantamweight might be, I think, either tied, if not even better than, or more competitive than lightweight. Bantamweight division. Not always was the case that bantamweight was a renowned division in the UFC, but we got Aljamain Sterling versus Tj Dillashaw. Does Tj Dillashaw deserve to be in this slot?
No.
In your opinion? No, right?
No, I don't think so. No, because okay, so what was it 2 years ago? Okay, so Cody Garbrandt was the champion. Tj Dillashaw beats him twice, for the belt and then the rematch. And then we all know or for those that don't know, Tj Dillashaw gets popped for the performance enhancing drug known as EPO. And for those that don't know, that is a drug. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make you look like the Incredible Hulk. This substance, it allows for more oxygen to be carried through the body. So basically it helps your endurance and your recovery so you can last longer, I guess.
More blood flow to the muscles.
Yep.
Increase muscle recovery and shit like that.
Yeah, so he got popped for that, had to give up the belt, got suspended for 2 years, and he came back. He fought Corey Sandhagen, and I believe we both agree that he did not win that fight.
Yes, I agree. Sorry.
He did not win that fight.
No, I agree. Corey Sandhagen won that fight, but
yeah, so now that made him somehow a contender because the judges saw him win. But between the two fighters, between Aljamain and Dillashaw, I think Dillashaw's better. He's a veteran.
He is. He's smart. He's a veteran. The one thing he did do well against Sandhagen was kind of, in a very veteran-like way, read any mistakes that he was making and adjusting well and like making it a harder fight for Sandhagen.
Yep.
Some people saw Dillashaw winning that fight. I don't know how. Like in my opinion, Corey Sandhagen won that fight. But I don't. Yeah, the steroid use. You win one fight and a lot of people don't agree with the decision. Your last fight you lost against Henry Cejudo, and it's like, I mean, no knock against Henry. He's back, by the way, apparently.
Yeah, he's back in the pool. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, and I'm done doubting Aljamain now too. So I guess this fight card is like I'm choosing people that I doubted the whole time.
Okay.
Because Aljo, I didn't think he was as good as he is. I thought that when he fought Peter Yan the first time, he looked
He was horrible in that fight.
so bad. I thought,
It was after the second round, he was just gassed out, and Piotr Jan was just picking him apart, having just toying with the guy.
and I was one of those that thought he was acting, that he quit, that
Oh no.
he just wanted to take the title, by the DQ or whatever, however he
Yeah.
got it. But that second fight comes back and does an awesome job, dominates.
He out grappled him. He out grappled Piotr Jan, which I mean that's smart because Piotr Jan's a pretty much just a boxer.
Yeah, he's a great boxer. I think he's got pretty high accolades in just the sport of boxing itself.
Yeah.
Um,
And Aljamain, yeah, I believe he switched camps, didn't he? He left Matt Serra, and then I don't know what camp he moved to, but whatever he did, it was a good enough change.
he might have, yeah. I knew he was with Matt Serra. I didn't know he switched over.
I believe they did. I just don't know where to.
Probably a good switch then, because he
Something
looked great
happened.
against Jan. He's putting everything together better too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what is Aljamain Sterling's last fights were against the two against Peter Yan, so the
Yep.
decision and the DQ. He beat Sandhagen by submission in round 1.
I
back in
remember that.
2020.
I remember that fight. He just took his back like it was nothing and just strangled him.
Yep.
I remember
then
that.
He beat Pedro Munoz.
We were there for that.
Yep. And Jamie Rivera. Also unanimous decision. So he's on a good streak too, dude. He's on a good streak, and those names are good names to have on your record.
They're big. They're very big names in that division.
So I'm down doubting Aljo. I think his time is here, and I think Tj Dillashaw is like 35 years old or something.
Yeah, he's up there.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Aljo for this one.
I'm going with Dillishaw. I think he's gonna do some good technical old man stuff, and I think his biggest strength in this one will be actually grappling.
Interesting. I that would be an interesting grappling exchange. Might even be more interesting of a grappling exchange than the main event. Just because I have no idea where either of those two are going to go, but I could see that happening, dude. I could see TJ pulling off like a veteran win, out kickboxing him, maybe out grappling him. It's gonna be an interesting fight, though.
It's gonna be interesting.
And I like how they set it up, right? With you got Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley also in the undercard, like right before that fight. That fight, the Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley fight, almost serves as a number 1 contender fight. So
I was gonna ask you if you thought that was like a title eliminator.
I do, even though I think it's unfair to like Chito. I think Chito should be next in line. I think in terms of like merit, right? TJ Dillashaw ends up being next in line because of what? Because of the name TJ Dillashaw, like because he's been around.
So. I think so. Because I mean, otherwise for Chito, I think he's fighting Sandhagen next, and then maybe a title fight. I don't know.
That would be a great fight, or even Chito against the winner of Yan versus O'Malley if they don't make that the next person. But Dillashaw, I mean, we both agree that we think he lost to Sandhagen.
Dillashaw is just wiser and more experienced than Aljamain, and lately Aljamain's had neck problems, so I don't know if that'll come into play.
That's true. But Aljo's on a 7-fight win streak.
Okay.
And TJ's on
2-year suspension.
off a 2-year suspension, winning a fight that a lot of people don't think he actually won. But he is TJ Dillashaw. I do see
it's still him.
He's still really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good fight, man. But who do you think is next for bantamweight then?
For bantamweight, Chito should rightfully be next, but it also depends on the outcome of the following fight on the same card. Otherwise, yeah.
Another sick fight on the stacked card. Do you want to move on to that one?
Yeah. I mean, we've got our picks basically on that.
So we got Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley. A weird fight, right? One of those fights like that Nate Diaz fight, versus Hamza fight that was made before.
Yeah.
Where it's, where is this fight coming from? Why would Peter Yan, who just fought for the title against Araujo, what many people thought was winning the first fight before, the disqualification or whatever. Or no, what was it, a no contest or disqualification?
Disqualification.
After that fight, losing to Araujo,
yeah,
but being so dominant against other people besides Araujo before that, why would he fight number 12?
Is Sean O'Malley actually ranked?
Sean O'Malley's ranked number 12.
Okay, because there was a while there where he was not ranked at all.
Well,
he must have just recently gotten bumped up.
I wouldn't be surprised. Those UFC rankings are,
they're sus.
Sus, yeah.
They're
the
sus.
Best way to put it.
Because otherwise, what? Yeah, no, this is I guess the second big name on Sean O'Malley's record, because other than Pedro Munoz for his last fight, he's only fought tomato cans and taxi drivers.
Yeah. Let's see. His fight history has been Pedro Munoz, which was a weird fight, right?
Yeah.
Where, and that's the thing about O'Malley that, I don't even hate on him. I actually like him.
No, he's talented. He's skilled, but
I think he's elite. You're right. But against bigger names, he has had the weirdest fights. O'Malley versus Munoz, that fight he gets hurt with, or wait, no, that was an eye poke, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was he poked Munoz and Munoz couldn't continue.
So the eye poke happened and Munoz was isolating him for a while. Like, I think Munoz was arguably winning that fight.
I had Munoz in that fight. I thought he was going to beat him. He was going to show him what's up.
Yeah, he wasn't letting him do any of his flashy striking. And so O'Malley didn't look good in that fight. I didn't think. And I thought that was the hardest test he had besides Chito.
Yep.
Speaking of Chito Vera, when he fought Chito Vera, he got his, leg injury.
Yeah, he injured his foot
in a weird way.
And then Chito just finished him with elbows on the ground.
And gets the technical knockout.
The TKO, yeah.
And you know what? I think well deserved, because he caused the trauma to the leg. From Malley, when you see like some replays.
Yeah.
Other than, there was another fight I think a while ago. Let me see if I'm not misremembering here. Didn't he hurt his leg another time against like?
Yeah, it was I believe his debut fight, and it was against
Sukumta.
Yeah, that one. I was gonna say, how do you pronounce that? I was gonna say Andre. It was against Andre Sukumta, where O'Malley, he hurt his foot and he did the post-fight interview on his back.
That's when he said, "I love you, Joe Rogan," or something like that.
Yeah, and he did the "Welcome to the Sugar Show."
Yeah, but besides that, he's fought Quinones, who's not. I don't even know if he's still in the UFC. Is he still in the UFC?
Probably, sure.
Eddie Wineland, he beat Eddie Wineland. Eddie
Wineland recently retired too, and I mean, he knocked him out. Then he got beat by Vera and injured. And he came back and he beat down Thomas Almeida.
Good win. That was a good win, but
still not a high ranked opponent.
Right. And then
Mutiniho, that green haired last minute replacement, that was just a punching bag for him.
A complete punching bag. He took everything that O'Malley, brought to the table, but TKO at the end of the day. Yeah. Beats Paiva, which I thought Paiva was he's a good fighter, but so that was a pretty good win. But still not a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
Then you get
Munoz.
And that ended the way it did. So, and he was losing those first two rounds anyway. So that unfortunate, turn of events for him. But now he gets Yan, the scariest guy in that division, probably.
Yeah, second scariest other than the champion. Yeah.
How do you see it going?
This is a weird one, because there's also attributes to consider in this fight. Because Yan is a very good striker, very dangerous, but and so is Sean O'Malley. But I mean, Sean O'Malley's got he's like a half of a foot taller than Peter Yan. So I don't know if the reach and stuff will play a factor other than Yan closing the distance. I don't know.
Yeah, Peter Yan's boxing is going to be more crisp than O'Malley's. But O'Malley is more unorthodox. There's a fight where I see Yan like winning this fight easily, but I also see O'Malley, being one of those people that are like, okay, here's, my opportunity. Where's the new up and coming talent? Like we were talking about a little bit earlier about new guys. This could be the new era coming up, right?
Yeah.
We already know that he's coming up, but if he beats Yan, he's definitely that guy now. He's he's getting a title shot.
This is just still a very big jump up in competition.
I do think it's too big though, especially after his performance against Munoz and Vera.
Yeah, no. See, this is like skipping to the last boss level in a video game. Like he just skipped all the missions, just went straight to the end. It's like, I don't know. This is too big of a challenge, I think, for him. But I would say Peter Yan takes him to school.
I would agree with that.
That's a safe bird bet, but yeah, O'Malley's special, and he's going to be flashy, and he's going to be arrogant throughout the whole fight week and everything. Even during the fight, he's going to be doing spinning and just showboating. But I think Yan takes it to him.
Me too. I hope it's not a very stagnant, exchange. Like because Yan tends to be a slow starter.
Yeah, he has to read his opponent.
And O'Malley in his last fights, even against Munoz, like he wasn't pulling the trigger as often as he could have. He was just kind of like also waiting for counters and like being flashy, trying to slip. So it'll be interesting. Like I hope they're not just, measuring each other for 3 rounds.
No. We'll see. But no, Sean O'Malley's best hope in this fight is to keep the distance, I think.
I agree. And he is pretty significantly taller than him. Do you have any their heights up? Let's see. 5'7" for Yan and 5'11" for O'Malley.
Yeah. And
then 72-inch reach for O'Malley, 67 for Yan. So they got some.
There's a difference there.
And Yan is a favorite by far too, minus 310. I think that might be the biggest on the whole card.
I think so. I think that's the biggest gap. So yeah,
I'm gonna go with Yan on that one.
I'll take Yan. I don't think O'Malley's there yet.
Do you think if Yan wins, does he get the immediate title shot against the winner of Aljo and TJ?
Let's see. Because the way that division is right now, I don't know. Because if O'Malley wins, he'll get a title fight because he just beat the former champion. But if Yan wins, I don't think that he'll get the immediate title fight because he's beating a lesser opponent.
Yeah,
a significantly lesser opponent. Like Yan has a lot to lose in this.
That's why I thought it was interesting that this fight was even made too, because Yan has nothing to win besides the hype that is O'Malley's name.
You can just take it right from him. Yeah.
Yep. That's the only upside to Yan winning that fight, I think. Well, aside from, shutting up O'Malley, I guess. Yeah. And then O'Malley has the most to win out of this, for sure.
Yeah.
It would be a shock to a lot of people for him to actually win this fight. I can see it happening, but not likely. Not likely. How do you think Yan takes it?
By decision.
I think that's a safe bet. Takes him to school, like you said, for the 3 rounds.
He's just gonna outbox him, outmaneuver him, outclass him. Yeah, I don't know if he could finish Sean O'Malley, but he'll just outmaneuver him. He'll just outclass him. I think so.
Did you hear O'Malley's coach talk about thinking that O'Malley was gonna make Yan look stupid?
They have to say that. That's part of his shtick. I mean, that's the other thing. O'Malley might be buying a little bit too much into his persona. He might be just believing in that a little bit too much, I think. Because if you see him at his like first, like when he appeared at Dana White's Contender Series to how he is now, polar opposites. You know, he was just a kid with curly hair, and he was like, all right, he's got something to him. He was special, but now he's just, you know, his hair looks like cotton candy. He's driving pink Lamborghinis. He's, yeah, no, I think he's buying into it a little bit too much. And Jan's a serious guy.
Yeah, UFC's taking care of O'Malley though. I mean, I feel like they've given
Yeah,
him a lot of favorable. Well, they've definitely given him a lot of
he's been
favorable
like an
fights.
influencer for them. He's been an influencer for them, you know, with exclusive merchandise drops, the NFTs, and all that stuff. Yeah, he's taken them to that on that aspect. He's a
Bring
needle
in like
mover.
younger
Yeah,
audiences.
yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure.
So, and he's exciting to watch most of the time.
Yeah,
So, it's an interesting fight. I just don't see him winning it. It'd be cool if he
no.
did though.
Yeah, good for him if he does. If he pulls it off, cool. I'll be rooting for him. I won't be booing him. I like him
Yeah, and if he wins, he's getting a title shot.
immediately, of course.
I think he got a new contract with the UFC, and they're paying him pretty well.
Yeah,
So
because that was
they're-
the thing before too. Is he supposedly wanted bigger fights, but for more money. That's his reason for not fighting names, but who knows if that's true.
who knows? But it looks like they kind of forced this one.
Yeah,
Like, all right, it's fair though. I mean, that's what he's asking for. Let's see if he's got it. Maybe he wasn't super motivated for the other guys. Who knows?
no,
But
money talks.
I don't agree with him making Jan look stupid or anything like that. I think it's going to be a really good fight. I also think Jan is going to end up taking this.
Okay.
So I think Jan winning gives him the title shot again, and then O'Malley probably ends up fighting like Cheeto.
Cheetos, Sanhagen, or Marab. Anybody else in that division?
Song Yadong is in there too.
Oh yeah, that guy.
It's a good division, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
stacked.
actually yeah.
There's dude, yeah. There's like what division is yeah, that's Adrian Yanez's division too. That dude's coming up too.
Oh yeah, that guy. He is fun to watch, and he's actually a very fun fighter to watch.
He is. There's a lot, dude. There's a lot of young guys.
There's up
that
and
are
coming there. Yeah.
Okay, so
Next fight.
let's go on. Next fight on that card is Beneil Dariush versus Gamrot. What's his first name?
Mateusz
Gamrot.
Yep.
That's a great fight.
Do you think that's a -- contender fight?
It very well could be because Gamrot has shown, to be a really good fighter. And Dariush has been kind of screwed before from the title shot. He's also been doing a really good job. It's a really good fight, dude. I don't even know. I don't know who I'd go for because Gamrot's like the younger guy coming in, isn't he?
He's got a lot of hype. He's a new kid, and I think his record's like 21-1.
Yeah, he's got like 6, 7 knockouts. 7 knockouts.
7 knockouts.
5 subs.
Yeah. He's very well rounded. It looks like it. His last fight was a decision with Armin. Before that, he was just finishing guys. So, he's a very dangerous opponent.
He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's got that Polish power.
Mm-hmm.
Good fight camp, ATT. It's a good fight. I think Dariush though, he's got a nasty ground game, and he's another one of those fighters that I've just looked past.
Me too. He's had fun fights, and he's had fun moments, and it's just like, oh, he's just there.
That Drakkar Klose fight.
That was a fun fight.
That one was awesome, dude.
That knockout, that was sick. Yeah, I remember that one. I think that's his best performance. Like that actually got me excited to see him.
Yeah, and the Ferguson fight, which made me sad. But
that was a sad. Yeah, it's like good for Beneil, but like we're diehard Tony Ferguson fans here. And I mean, he hasn't fought in over a year, like a year and a half. That's when that point. Ferguson fight was.
That's a good point, but he was on a 7-fight win streak. It's kind of like That's a hard one, man. Because there's another one. There's another one. I think there's a lot of these where there's like, is the new guy taking over, or is the old guy that's been here a while gonna show his veteran,
Yeah.
part of him and take the win? There's so many.
And
All of these fights, they're like that.
this is a weird one, and I think he's gonna come in angry because there's been some backstage rumors regarding this fight and the whole card with Beneil believing that he was the substitute, the backup for the main event in case something happened, but now it was reported that Alexander Volkanovski is the backup.
Yup, and I think we talked about that on episode 4.
Yeah.
Last time around, we said
we did hear it.
Darius he was announced to be the backup, and then it turns out that Volkanovski is going to be the backup.
I prefer Volkanovski as a backup. Then we get a champ fight.
That would be so sick.
And also, Volkanovski's he's ranked as a pound for pound MMA fighter right now.
That's the next fight I want to see at lightweight. Actually, we didn't even talk. Like, I didn't even think about
Volkanovski
that.
coming back up.
Yeah, if Oliveira wins, or even if Makachev wins, if Alexander Volkanovski jumped over everybody else in lightweight, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, because there's nobody left for him at featherweight.
He's gonna run through the whole rest of the division like third time around.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, I don't know, this is a hard one. What does the odds say? What does the odds say?
Let's see. The odds for this fight are
probably dead even.
-190. Gamrod's the favorite.
Wow. That's close though.
That is close, and I think it's pretty interesting that he's a favorite. I guess you're right. Darius has had a year off or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who to pick on this one.
There's a lot of coin flips for me in this whole card.
This is a weird one. I don't know who to pick.
I think I'm gonna keep going with
the old guys.
No, you know what?
You're gonna take the young guy on this?
I'm gonna take the young guy in this one. I'm gonna take Gamra. I think he's
ready.
One of those future guys in this division. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gamrot.
I'll go with Gamrot too then. And also because I just don't like Beneil for what he did to Tony.
Yeah. But he's a beast, dude. He's a beast.
He's a beast. I'm not saying he's not, but like, he shouldn't have done that to Tony Ferguson. Otherwise we'd be fine.
And he's 33. I mean, Gamrot is 31, so they're like
really
very similar age.
I thought Gamrot was like 25 or something. I don't know.
I thought so too until I had to look it up. But I do think Gamrot takes it. I think it's going to be a hard one though. Like, if that's a coin flip again, like all of them are. So the last fight on the main card,
Katlyn Chookagian and Manon Fiorot.
That's interesting. I thought they were going to put the Bilal Mohammed fight and the Sean Brady on that card instead of Chookagian. They should have, right?
This fight kind of seems kind of pointless to me, man.
I don't care about this fight.
It's good for Manon if she wins because she's number 7 in the flyweight division, and Chookagian's number 1. So this could be maybe the winner of this fight could fight Alexa Grasso, maybe, or
dude, give Alexa Grasso Valentina Shevchenko already.
I think so. We'll get to that. But yeah, because Chookagian already got beat by Shevchenko, so I mean, this is just to maybe take her spot. But I don't think if Manon Fiorot beats Chookagian, she'll get Shevchenko. So this is just a moving up in the division type of fight.
It should, this gives me the, vibe that it should have been somewhere in the prelims, like in the middle.
I think this is a prelim worthy fight. It doesn't scream pay-per-view to me.
Not at all. I mean, Bilal Mohammed or Sean Brady would have been perfect on there, but they need a good prelim fight.
They need to get you in your seats.
Yeah, because the last fight you see on the ESPN channel or whatever is going to make you buy the pay-per-view. And Bilal Mohammed versus Sean Brady is a pretty good.
Actually, Bilal lately, he's a beast.
People think he's boring because he's just wrestling, but
it's the way he's wrestling, though, people.
And Sean Brady is also one of those, like,
He's an up and comer,
new guys
right?
that is looking really good. So very interesting fight.
Which one?
Sean Brady versus Bilal
we
Muhammad.
just skipped right over 2K gang and Bureau. We're like, who cares?
You're right. We haven't even given our.
we just went right to the feature.
Right. I'm like, I'll be honest, I do not give a shit about this fight, but it is the weakest fight on the card, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who you got?
I actually don't even really remember Manon Fiorot like that.
Me neither. I'm looking back at her fights to see if I remember any.
Let me see.
I remember her fighting Jennifer Maia, but
I remember that.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
That's the only. She's only had a few fights in the UFC. This is a very big jump in competition. It looks like Chukagian. She's a solid boxer. I do know that about her.
She is. She's tough. She beat Amanda Ribas and Jennifer Maia, Chukagian.
Oh yeah, she did.
And Viviana Araujo, dude. She's legit. Okay, so she beat some pretty legit chicks. So, I'm gonna go with Chukagian on this one.
I'll take Chukagian. Yeah, the only people she's really lost to are Jessica Andrade, Shevchenko, Jessica I guess. Yeah, she's actually beaten some names. She beat Irene Aldana. She beat Lauren Murphy, Alexis Davis. Yeah, she's a better fighter. Just
she beat Antonina.
Yeah, she beat Antonina. So,
and Calvillo.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Chukagian on that one.
Chukagian's winning this fight, people. It's an easy
Watch that B fight of the night. We're over here talking shit.
We
no. Good card though. Either way.
Okay. Now,
so
more interesting fight.
Prelims: Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady. This is like, who's gonna break through to be a contender for sure.
I already know who I'm picking.
I'm gonna guess your pick. You're thinking Bilal Muhammad? Yeah. He is actually. I thought he was a favorite. He's actually not the favorite. Sean Brady's the favorite. Really? Interesting. Yeah. So but only minus 150, so it's very close.
That's a close one, yeah. Let me see. What's Sean Brady's record looking like? Beat Michael Chiesa
last year, though. So he hasn't fought in a year, but he did beat Chiesa. He beat Matthews.
Much it. He doesn't have that deep of a record.
He doesn't. Bilal, on the other hand,
he's undefeated though. I'll give him that 15-0. It's not easy to do.
And Bilal has beat his most recent one was against Vicente Luque. He also beat Wonder Boy.
He out-wrestled Wonder Boy. He beat Damian Maia. That's not easy to do.
Got that no contest eye poke thing against Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Which was pretty lame. I don't remember who was winning the first round of that fight though.
And say the eye poke that was in the second round. Yeah, I don't remember either. Alignment good. Diego Lima. Yeah, no, and also besides his record, I've seen things on Instagram and such where Bilal Muhammad's been training with Khabib for this camp.
Oh, dang.
So that's why I'm like, you're training with Khabib, you're gonna win, dude. He's got Coach Khabib with him.
And a lot of people swear he's got like really good really high IQ for MMA. Like he's has a good eye for stuff. So I would go with Bilal too, just based off his record.
Yeah.
Could totally see him just smothering Brady.
He's just gonna smother him. That's how that fight's gonna go. So yeah, I'm gonna take Coach Khabib's training on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Edwards didn't knock out Mohammed, then why would Brady, right?
Right.
It's a good fight though. I'm excited for that one too. Let's see, any other fights on this card that you're vibing with? There's Ozdemir versus Krylov is also on this fight. Or on this card. Nurmagomedov.
Abu Bakar.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Let me see. Does anything pop? No, nothing really.
Petrosian Dobson could be a good fight.
Muradov. What's that guy? He's got an interesting looking record. Oh wow. The second to last fight on there, that should be interesting for Mahmoud Muradov against Caio Barallo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That should be a very interesting one. That should be a showcase for Mahmoud. Mahmoud's record is something nuts. He's 25-7.
That's a good record.
He's actually beaten some people. This is only his fifth fight in the UFC. He lost to Gerald Meerschaert, so but he seems legit. 17 knockouts, just saying.
Baralo's also on a win streak.
Is he?
5-fight win streak.
Okay. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page, I don't know.
Not too many
Nothing
names.
big.
Yeah.
So
He
I
beat
think it's
Petrosian.
Okay.
Petrosian. There's some good fights on this card, though.
Even
Talked about them.
that Volkan Oezdemir fight doesn't really against Nikita Krylov doesn't really like excite me too much, just because that light heavyweight division's a little stale. It's like, okay, they win, then what's gonna happen? Nothing. I'm just gonna sit around some more.
Yeah, they did announce the rematch for Glover versus Prohaska.
Yeah, so this is just hopefully whoever wins will just get closer to a title fight. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so good fights on this whole card is stacked. And that main card is absolutely stacked. So Abu Dhabi must have paid a lot of money for UFC to put so many names on this card. They've lately been doing a lot of just putting one or two names on a card.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Let's see. Got anything else to add about UFC 280?
No, you got our picks.
So let's move on to
We had a few fight nights.
UFC Fight Night. This
weekend, yeah.
This weekend we had Alexa Grasso versus Viviana Araujo.
Yep.
Pretty, in my opinion, it was a dominant performance by Alexa Grasso.
Very dominant.
The commentary team had me kind of like, I was like, what are you guys talking about? They almost thought that Araujo could have been up on the scorecards. Like I heard Paul Felder and Cruz talking about Araujo bringing in more forward pressure, and so that she might have pulled off a decision win. But I saw Alexa Grasso landing more strikes. Maybe Araujo was putting in more forward pressure, but Grasso was doing a good job at evading, at countering, landing her jabs.
Oh yeah.
Landed more strikes in general.
No, yeah, for sure. What I saw, Grasso beat her to the punch. She was much faster with her hands, and the only pressure that Vivian brought forward was takedown and clinch attempts. But Grasso was able to counter and push her off. And, it was all great defense and great work by Alexa.
Yeah, as she got back up well.
Yeah,
she's evolved her game, so she's
a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She's way more well-rounded, and I think with this victory, she should be next for Valentina Shevchenko.
I do too. I 100% agree with that.
Because she's ranked number 5 right now, but after this one, she'll be bumped up, and Valentina's already beaten all the other 4 women ahead of Alexa on the rankings.
Yeah, man, and it would be dope to see the first female Mexican-born champion. Guadalajara, so just like Canelo, you know what I mean? There's a lot of Irene is also from Guadalajara, so there's a lot of UFC up and coming fighters from that area and from Tijuana. But she had really good takedown defense. I remember the first round, they were both trading some pretty decent jabs back and forth. Decent combos were landing back and forth, and I do think that Araujo, some of her strikes seem to be doing more damage.
I think so.
At times, but Grasso was landing more often.
Yeah.
More often, and good takedown defense. She was landing cleaner punches. Even though Araujo's was landing with more force, I think Grasso's was more consistent and cleaner. Her boxing looked so crisp.
It's always crisp. Yeah. Was it her last fight? Who was it against? lately she's been looking good. Let me see. Alexa Grasso's last few fights. Joanne Wood, she submitted her. She beat Macy Barber. Ji Yeon Kim. See, she's only lost recently to Carla Esparza and Tatiana Suarez, which that's fine. It's fine to get beat by them. They're really good.
Yeah, wherever Tatiana Suarez is.
Yeah.
But Araujo, on the other hand, also a good fighter. She beat Lee, Chukagian, and Modafferi
Okay.
in her last 3 fights.
No, she didn't beat Chukagian.
She didn't beat Chukagian?
No, she lost to her.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So she did.
So she's she's got something, but maybe a couple more fights for her. She's not quite there yet.
Yeah, but Grasso, on the other hand, is there.
Oh, yeah.
Her boxing looks sharp. Her takedown defense, her ground game in general has gotten much better.
Yeah.
So I had it 50-45 for Grasso.
I agree with that. I agree with that score, 50-45. I didn't see Vivian decisively win a round. It's like, oh, she did that. No.
I could see a 49-46. I forget which round. I
couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, which was just like
a sweep by Grasso.
I thought so.
How do you think a fight with her and Shevchenko goes?
That's hard. That is a hard one. I don't think she could outstrike Valentina. Valentina is a sniper, you know. I would say her ground game is her best hope in that fight.
Grasso's ground game?
Yeah. I mean, Valentina's pretty good, but I mean, what is it? In her last fight against Talia Santos, she kind of almost got choked out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if Grasso fights Valentina, it's got to be her ground game. That's the main focus there because she's not outstriking or outkicking Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, no, Shevchenko's too sharp on the feet and kickboxing range too.
Mm.
Grasso's got some good good boxing, but she's too front leg heavy. She could get that leg chewed up. And Shevchenko's strong as hell. So if it goes to the ground, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's her best bet is the ground. Otherwise, no, stay away from them hands.
I do think Grasso should be next though. So I do agree with that. And it would be a good fight.
Good.
Another good fight on that card this Saturday was Cub Swanson versus Jonathan Martinez.
Yep.
Jonathan Martinez looked really good, dude. Finishes the fight off of leg kicks. I haven't seen that since Edson Barbosa.
He almost finished the fight in the first round. Cub Swanson was literally saved by you call it a bell or a buzzer?
Yeah, no, yeah, saved by the bell. Why not? He was, right? So
yeah.
Martinez followed up with some strikes in that round and almost finished it. I think Herb was about to finish it if he didn't know that it was almost over.
Yep. No, yeah, Cub Swanson was saved by the bell in the first. He got finished in the second. And the weird thing with this one that I would note is Cub Swanson was away for a year with a ACL injury. So I wouldn't be surprised if either he retore the same one or if it's the other one that got tore now. I wouldn't be surprised.
If it was the same one, yeah, that would like those leg kicks were nasty. They were landing all fight.
So yeah, when I saw it was TKO via leg kicks to the leg, I'm like, oh, there goes his ACL again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. They sounded nasty. And he got a fight of the night or a performance of the night bonus for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that's it for Cub Swanson? He's a veteran.
I was about to ask you that. Like, do you think that wraps it up for him? They kind of gave him this
he's a young guy. Yeah, he was a gatekeeper role, and they gave him a young guy. The young guy beat him. I mean, Cub Swanson, he goes back all the way to the WEC days. That's how
he has 10 years on Martinez.
Yeah,
he's 38 years old.
38's not good.
So yeah, I think it's over for Cub Swanson, or it's about to be close.
Yeah, he could have a few more fights and such, but I don't think he'll contend for the title anytime soon. I think he'll He'll just be there and ride out until he decides to retire.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's just that time.
Yeah, and there's another, young bantamweight coming up there. So Martinez, I don't know how much noise he makes in the bantamweight division, but he looked good though.
He's pretty good. He's a good prospect. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, that first round was pretty close to stoppage, and then ends up stopping by kicks in the second. So really good fight. Guy to watch. 28 isn't super young, but he's approaching that prime.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where
I think he'll break out. I think he'll break out after this.
I think the fight of the night for that was the fight right before that.
What's that?
Let's see.
Dusko Todorovic against Jordan Wright.
Yeah, against Jordan Wright. Yep. Todorovic gets that second round TKO from ground and pound. Ref ends up stopping it. Todorovic came out swinging in the second round after a lot of wrestling in the first. And that second round was the reason that they got fight of the night. I think they started, they planted their feet, leather. Started throwing. Pretty good fight.
Okay. Let's see, what division is that? Middleweight. I mean, Jordan Wright, he wasn't ranked. Dusko's not ranked, so I don't know. What do you make of this for them?
It was a fight that happened.
It happened, and it just adds to their record. Okay.
It adds to the record. Todorovic is a dude that came off of the Contender Series, though. So I'm telling you, like, these guys that come off the Contender Series,
they're your guys.
keep your eye on those guys, dude. They not to be slept on,
I agree.
But that was a good fight. So then after that, Asunciao gets a decision win. He's super old too, but he gets his win against Henry. I didn't really.
Yeah, this one I was like, if Asunciao loses, he's getting either the boot or he's retiring. And even he said that afterwards, was that if he lost, he was actually gonna probably retire.
Yeah.
But he actually somehow pulled it off, so he lives to fight at least once more.
And then right before that fight, we got Serkinov versus Menifield. A nasty, nasty knockout, dude.
Yeah.
So Serkinov, Menifield wins by first round knockout. I think there was only like a couple punches landed in that fight.
Yeah, this one, the only thing that comes out of this, I think, is that it adds some new blood to the light heavyweight division. Because Misha Serkinov, he's been a staple there, and the most I think he's ever been is like number 11. He's usually been between 10 and 15, the whole time. So this kind of takes him out, sort of, and it puts a new guy in. So something to look forward to, I guess.
He was on a 3-fight losing streak before losing against Menifield.
Okay.
But you're right about that. So now Menifield
It'll at least be like 15 or 14 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick knockout though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other than that fight,
nothing else really stood out to me.
Other
than that on these cards.
I don't think so either, except the first two fights I did. Get pretty into
P. Rodriguez and Mike Jackson. Because Mike Jackson, he got sent to the shadow realm. Let's just say that he got kneed in the face. He was literally like, he had the lean going on against the cage and everything. He was dead.
Yep, P. Rodriguez.
I think he's still there.
Yeah, he might be, dude.
I think he's still there.
He's still there. What a weird career trajectory for that guy, fighting CM Punk and then all the other fights. He just had weird fights. And this felt like a fight where they put him in there to lose.
I'm surprised they even hired him back after the CM Punk fight, because he got fired after that fight.
I do remember Dana was pissed.
Yeah. He's like, he will never fight in here ever again. So maybe they just brought him in to beat him up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but Pete Rodriguez with a nasty knockout leaves him like ragdolled him pretty much.
Yeah, it was bad.
He trains off of the MMA lab. Yeah. He had John Crouch in his corner. Yeah, gave him some good advice, told him to slow down a couple of times, and then when he told him to knee, like I heard two of his coaches say to throw the knee. Nasty combos, finishes from body shots, to a knee to the head after that. I think that's how he ended it, right? It was like a knee to the head.
It was like they were clinching, I think, and he just
Jackson like dipped his head and he caught him with a knee.
Yep.
Knocks him out. So now he's 5-0. Round one knockout, and that's how he's been winning a lot of his fights, round one knockout. So that was a good one. The fight after that, TJ Vergara versus who's also a Dana White's Contender Series alum. He didn't make weight. He missed weight, and like had to give up 30% of his purse or whatever for that.
Yep.
He fought Tatsuro Taira. Okay,
that young kid,
only 22 years old.
That's what I was gonna say. He's 22, and he seems like a savage right now.
He was 11-0 prior to this fight, and dude, he was a savage because I thought CJ was gonna win that fight.
Yeah. I would have found it hard to bet on the other kid, but I can't even say his name yet. But I would have found it hard to bet on him, but he pulled it off.
He did, dude. I mean, got dominated. I mean, even in the first round, Tyro was he looked very well rounded just in general. He was getting takedowns, holding top position, like a lot of side control against him. Striking was pretty close in the first round. I think CJ almost got like an arm triangle in the last few seconds of that round, but couldn't find the best angle for it. But Tyra ended up finishing that round with knees and strikes. But then he ends up getting the back and the triangle lock, like the body lock against him after taking the back and then chokes him out. No. Gets an armbar. Gets an armbar. Gets an armbar, yeah. He transitioned from the back to the armbar, right? And then he tried to get up from it, and then he just straightened it out and
just locked it in. Yep.
He got a performance of the night bonus for that too.
He made it look kind of easy. Otherwise, nothing else really popped for me on this card.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was pretty much it. The Brito fight was okay. He called out Dan Ige, but nothing much besides that. But a lot of boxing that happened this weekend.
Yeah, I was way more excited for that.
Yeah, dude, they were some good fights. Which one you want to go over first?
Let's go with let's start Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall.
That one is the one I didn't see, but I did see that Clarissa Shields won that fight by decision.
Let's at least give her the honorable mention. I didn't watch it either, but scorecards were 97-93. So once again, Clarissa Shields dominates, as everybody believes she will, and now she's a undisputed champion for a third time.
Impressive stuff.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. Did have her as my pick. I didn't watch the fight, but
it's hard to bet against her.
Yeah. Wasn't she supposed to do MMA?
I mean, she kind of has already, but she's got to go defend her belts too. She's doing both, dude. She's a savage.
She fought in what organization did she fight in?
PFL. She's a 1-1.
That's interesting, dude. Someone so dominant in boxing. Let's see how she does when she transitions fully to MMA.
Yeah.
Get some more.
I mean, eventually, I'd like to see Shields maybe fight Katie Taylor or maybe even Amanda Serrano. That'd be, that's the biggest names in women's boxing, for those that don't know.
Amanda Serrano would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Either of those two would be a good fight. So that would be cool.
Otherwise, she's just going to keep beating all these other women that we kind of haven't really heard from or about. We're like, who are they? I don't know, but they're going to get beat up.
Yeah, man, that would be a good way to go, I think. I agree. Anything that you noticed that you say you didn't watch the fight either?
No. I mean, I saw some highlights. It was just another dominant win. Like Shields was just too good. There's leaps and bounds, and there's just gaps between Shields and everybody else. It's just
Yeah,
a beast, you know. It's hard to in boxing. She's just fast and she's good.
she's fat as hell. Yeah, she's dominating. I really don't see who do you think would win, by the way, if she did fight against Serrano? I
Oh
think
wow,
I think Shields would win.
probably Shields, but just because she has a little more power than Amanda, but Amanda just brings in speed. But I don't know. We'll see if that ever even does happen. Who knows? It's women's boxing.
Let's move on to
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
Deontay Wilder gets the nasty knockout of his former training partner, Robert Helenius.
Yep.
First round knockout, dude. It was sick because it was just a straight, and he didn't fully extend his arm.
No, it was was it yeah, Deontay Wilder was backing up when he threw this right hand.
He was backing up. He didn't get full extension. He didn't even put full power into that punch.
No.
Knocks him out.
It looked
So
like
nasty.
It looked like he just like pawed at him. It wasn't like a wind up or nothing to this one or overhand. No, it just pawed at the chin and he just died.
Knocked him out stiff, dude. He put him in the shadow realm for real.
Yeah, no, Deontay Wilder only landed 3 punches in this whole fight.
Yep.
That's the crazy stat. But I see as short as this fight was, I see what Helenius was trying to do, and he was very aggressive for how long this fight lasted. He was clearly trying to get Wilder to fight on his back foot, which Tyson Fury exposed that of him.
Yep.
That he gets uncomfortable fighting backwards and being pushed, and I can see that's what Helenius tried to do, but he got cracked.
Yeah, he got caught, and that's a guy that you can't get caught by.
No.
Yeah, he has that power, that ability to finish a fight at any second of the fight.
That's ridiculous power. Like no wind up, and Helenius outweighed Wilder by 40 pounds in this fight. And Wilder still just tapped him on the chin, barely. And yeah.
For people that don't know,
yeah,
the fact that he didn't get full extension on that punch and that he was backing away and didn't get much power behind it, it's insane how bad of a knockout that was from that. Could you imagine if you landed a haymaker? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
In that instance, it's sick, dude.
No, I think like the nastiest knockout that Wilder's ever done that I was like, oh my God, how could you do that to another person? Was remember Dominic Brazil?
Oh, dude, yeah, that was fucking nasty.
That was disgusting. You don't do that to somebody. Like you just don't do that to people. Like, oh my God. But no, he cracked Helenius. I mean, he's had other nasty knockouts, like what he did to Jermaine Sterling the second time, like nasty stuff. But yeah, no, the Bronze Bomber's back, and I think he fights Andy Ruiz next.
He did call him out, right? He called out Andy. He called out one more person. I forgot who.
He mentioned Usyk, but he's not fighting Usyk. He's not fighting Usyk. That's not going to happen. And this fight was already a WBC, what do they call it, semifinal title eliminator. So basically, that means as far as for the WBC rankings, he gets one more fight and then to fight for the belt again, possibly. But that's literally Andy Ruiz is the only other option for him next.
That'd be interesting. I do think he knocks out Ruiz, though.
I think so too.
Helenius took a while to get back up, dude.
Yeah, no, he had to be helped up. But Wilder, leading up to this one, I saw some his training footage and such, and he's working on his skills because he's always been criticized for not boxing.
Yeah.
And even I saw that he's got noodle arms and all this. The way he swings is just like, dude, what are you aiming for? Like he's just not clean, and he just goes for the one hit. But he's working on it, and the fact that he could do that now, against the ropes and moving back, that's a little improvement. But
he looked a lot better in that sense. He was boxing more.
And say he
Um,
could do that now. Yeah, before he couldn't.
I mean, it was only a few minutes, a couple
Right.
minutes that we
That's
saw,
yeah.
but he did look a little bit different. His punches didn't look as wild.
He did throw one crazy looping right hand where I'm like, oh, like no.
But
It's
if that
scary when he
landed,
throws it. It's scary when he throws it. You're like, holy crap! But you can still see him coming from a mile away sometimes.
yeah. But it was good to see him win again. Because you want that. You want some more, you know, people to talk about, especially in the heavyweight division in boxing.
Yeah,
A lot of fights that can be made
especially
there.
coming off of two straight losses. A lot of people were probably counting him out, but he's back in. And for those that don't know, what's his record, Abe? Like something ridiculous.
His record, Deontay
Yeah,
Wilder's record.
yeah.
Let's see.
It's
I
like
do know that he has like
42.
42 knockouts or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that he's like 42-2 is like 42 knockouts. Like all but one of his fights have ended by knockout. That's how
that's
crazy this.
that's
Yeah,
an insane stat. Yeah, and I know, and 91.3% of his fights have ended by knockout. Let's see. Yeah, 46 fights, 42 knockouts,
there you go. That's insane. Nobody can do that.
43 wins, 42 knockouts, two losses only to Tyson
Tyson
Fury,
Fury.
who is, in my opinion, the best heavyweight boxer alive right now.
Yeah, nobody like him.
He's a beast.
So yeah, Wilder and Ruiz. That's what's gonna happen next, and they're both PBC fighters. That's an easy fight to make.
And I'm here for it. I would watch the shit out of that. That's a good
I'd
fight.
watch the shit out of that too.
Um,
What else?
but
What else we got?
that same card, we
Yeah,
had Caleb Plant fight on that card
sweet hands.
against Anthony Dirrell. Gets nasty left hook knockout.
Is it round 9 or round 10? Something. It was up there, but it was yeah. No, Caleb. He did a left hook to the body, then he brought the hook back up, and he just caught Caleb Plant flush, and he just leveled him. He left him unconscious on the ground for a while.
Yeah, dude, Caleb Plant landed that hook nasty. There seemed to be a lot of animosity there. I think
There was a lot of shit
TikTok.
talking. Yeah, in the lead up to this, especially from Dirrell. Even this whole fight, Dirrell was just fighting dirty. Like they were throwing each other to the ground, tripping each other up, a lot of dirty boxing and clinching. But that's just how Anthony Dirrell's always fought. He's not technical. He's just a brawler. But Caleb Plant, he's got fast hands. He's very technical. He can dance, and he brought it.
Yeah, man, a vicious left hook. Um, Sent Dirrell straight to the floor, knocked him out. Um, what's next for Caleb Plant then?
It's well at the venue, he did point out Jermell Charlo, but I think what's next is he's at super middleweight, and he's to him this is a road to revenge against Canelo, but I think what's next for him and would be more fun would be David Benavidez.
That would be fun. That would be an awesome
That's
fight,
a
actually.
good fight, and then that way the winner of that, then they can fight Canelo. But I think they're
That's a perfect scenario, I think, for Benavidez to get the Canelo fight. If he
yeah,
fights Plant and beats him,
yeah.
then you got a Canelo fight right there.
Yeah, because
That's
they're because Plants, he's the last guy that Canelo beat. Because of him, Canelo's undisputed middleweight champion. So yeah, I think Benavidez would be the better fight for him, and they have tried to make that fight before, but it just fell through. Who knows why? But yeah, that fight, yeah, they can make it too. They're both also represented by Al Heyman, so that's not difficult to make either.
true that. Did you see Plant get in trouble by the ref, but for trying to do that gravedigger
Oh, he was burying like Tito Ortiz used to do back in the day.
yeah,
With the
pretending to
shovel
bury.
gesture, and he's no, it's because I think that's it for Anthony Dirrell. I
Yeah,
think he's done so because he did have that good knockout last November when Canelo fought Caleb Plant. Dirrell was the co-main event for that. He knocked out, I forget the kid's name, but he uppercutted him and sent him to outer space. But before that, Dirrell did get beat down by Benavidez.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, and that was such a bad knockout against Plant that I can see that being it for him too.
Yeah.
We also had Haney fight
Devin Haney.
Kambosos. Devin
The
Haney.
rematch in Australia.
Yup. A little bit more of an aggressive take by Kambosos, I think, this time around compared to the
Yeah.
first one.
The first, yeah, this is a little different. Because would you agree with calling the first fight between these two men Jab City?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And Haney, he has this, boxing style of stick and move, get the clinch, stick and move, get the clinch. So it's like he'll land 1, 2, maybe 3 strikes, back away. He's evading a lot. He'll get the clinch when he gets landed on a little bit. And it makes for, a little bit of a boring fight, but it's good boxing. I think he did that very, very well, especially towards the end of this fight. Ended up schooling Kambosos towards the end.
yeah.
Again.
Kambosos tried though. He tried to change up his game plan up to like the third round. He was switching stances, trying to make it awkward, but Devin Haney just read him and just beat him to the punch. And then what is it? Kambosos looked like he was overthinking for like the middle part of this fight.
Yeah.
He just stood in front of him, just like I don't know, like that that buffering circle.
Yeah. He
just
seemed
like
like he was doubting himself.
Yeah, he was just like he was afraid to get countered or something. I don't know what it was. And then round 10, Devin Haney just started to pour it on him. Just nasty combinations from all angles, a lot of right hands, just hurting George. And then yeah, he just beat him. He just beat him up.
Yeah, dude. I do think Kambosos had like a moment where he kind of felt like defeated again. Maybe he was getting in his head like, oh, it's happening again.
Who knows?
But every now and then he'd come back and he'd land a good punch or two, and looked like something was gonna happen. But ultimately, Haney schooled him at the end.
He schooled him. He outpointed him. He outstruck him. So yeah, now I just want to see Haney versus Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's a good next step, I think. Sucks for Kambosos. I don't even get why they made it in Australia again though. Like, couldn't have done it in the US since Haney won. Have him be the home guy since he's defending his title, but whatever.
I don't know. I think that was probably part of the rematch clause from the first fight, I think. Where the rematch would still be in Australia, but hey, Haney beat him twice in front of his own people. Nobody ever really else does that.
Yeah. But yeah, Haney looked good. How old is Haney? He's pretty young, isn't he?
He's 23. He's about to be 24, and he's undisputed lightweight champion.
That's crazy.
Which
dude.
I'm glad he's just now showing that, because before everybody called him a paper champion, the way he was given his belt, and it was like vacated, and they're like, oh, I mean, he's the next in line, so let's just give it to him. But he's showing up.
Yeah, dude. Two really good dominant performances against Kambosos, who had just beaten Delfino Lopez. So interesting things going on in boxing, just like in UFC. Do you have anything to add on any of those?
Under those,
fights?
no. Just we just gotta wait to see how Lomachenko and Ortiz turns out in a couple weeks. But Lomachenko's gonna win that one. So I'm just waiting to see who else gets matched up for these guys. But no, not much else to it. It's fun to watch.
All right. Well, cool. Let's wrap it up with some upcoming fights. We'll just kind of quickly preview, not even going into detail, but just aside from UFC 280 next week,
sure,
which has a start time of like 2 p.m. Eastern time or something like that.
Because it's live from Abu Dhabi. That's right.
Might be at work, so might have to hurry up afterwards.
Oh, no. I'm running to B-dubs for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm either gonna go out and watch that fight, that card, or I'm gonna order it because.
Okay.
But then week after that, we got Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar. UFC Apex Fight Night.
Okay.
Then November 5th, Bryce Mitchell versus Evelev. Movsar Evelev. We also got Neil Magny versus Daniel Rodriguez.
I thought Evelev. No, he backed out.
He did?
Yeah.
Dang, this source I got right now is not updated probably then.
Let me look. White card. Oh yeah, Evelev was replaced by Ilia Topuria.
For sure.
That happened, I think, last night or between last night and this morning. So, just so you know.
Okay.
It was close to being Sadiq Youssef, which I thought I would have preferred.
That would have been cool. That would have been better.
Yeah. But no, Ilia Topuria came in, so yeah, Bryce Mitchell's gonna take that. Ilya's good, but he just got whooped by Patty the Batty, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, just the last one I'll say is well no actually, so November 12th is the Adesanya versus Pereira card. Carlos Barza versus Wei Lee, Poirier versus Chandler. So that's that card too.
That's a good card.
There's also a fight night after that, but December 3rd, you got Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. I think got announced recently too. That's an
Kevin Holland came out of retirement just for this.
Yeah.
Holland retired real quick after the Chimaev fight.
Got the fight. He wanted a big fight, I guess. It's good because it's
a fun one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stand-up fight. That'll be interesting to see. Last couple. So Robbie Lawler versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, December 10th. I thought was interesting. And Cannonier versus Sean Strickland gets moved to December 17th at the Apex.
Not bad. And then end of the year, you have Prohaska and Glover Teixeira in the rematch.
Yep. Are they still trying to get John Jones to fight Stipe in that card?
There's rumors here and there for John Jones at least. I don't know about who he'd be fighting, but it'd probably be Stipe.
Well, that would be awesome if they could get that.
If they can make it cool. If not, the Prohaska and Teixeira rematch is gonna be insane.
For sure. Well, all right, dude, let's wrap it up.
All right.
It's gonna be really fun next weekend. I can't wait for those fights. UFC 280, they're dope.
Insane.
Quick plug, shout out to your homie for making these shirts.
Oh yeah, our show's first sponsor, Allison Hernandez. She made us these casual corner MMA shirts. I'll pull it back. There you go. They're great. No, if anybody needs their if anybody's in the Northern Illinois area and needs haircuts, things like that, Allison's great. She does weddings. She's great at her balayage, blowouts, men's haircuts, kids' haircuts, everything. She's amazing.
Yep, hit up Allison. It's really dope of her. These shirts turn out really nice. So for sure, dude, let's wrap it up. We'll talk about these fights next time.
Yep.
The results and see if our picks were correct or not.
And where we go from there.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
All right, dude, it was fun. I'll see you then next time, bro.
Keep the pole out. Look in the club like 20 deep, I keep the Glock out. Shorty a T, she running around with a top out. They ain't no ops when I pull up, I clear the block out. Kid man shorter, he'll break your jaw, call him knockout. Thought he a cheater, but ain't a